Oh, this should be interesting. If I'm not canceled already, I'm definitely going to be canceled after this. See, I don't dislike the LGBT community. Well, okay, I do, but just the community. The individual persons within it, I'd have to get to know them. If there's a gay person and they're friendly, I could be friends with them. If there's a bisexual person, a trans person, doesn't matter. I could be friends with them if they're friendly. I have gay friends. I have trans friends. I have gay and trans people in my Discord, which, by the way, is in my link tree down in the description. Pre-watched warning. I saw that Asmongold watched this, so I was like, you know what? I'll watch it too and give my thoughts on it. So I've already seen it, but I have some things to say. Just gonna let you know right off the bat, I agree with everything that she says in this video.
Pride month is almost over. Thank God, because if I see another rainbow flag on my feed, I might buy a pack of Skittles and start slingshotting them at my screen.
No, 50-50, man.
No, don't buy the Skittles. They're part of the problem. They fund all of the Pride stuff.
My distaste may come as a surprise to some people, considering I'm actually a part of the LGBT community. In case you haven't noticed from my endless references to titties and busty Latinas in the past 10 videos, I like hot chicks. This is not a coming out video. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't need a rainbow flag and a teary-eyed video.
Yeah, when I originally saw this, I thought I thought she was a dude. Like a 15-year-old dude.
Confessing the fact that I like big butts and I cannot lie, but it may be interesting to hear that I'm actually extremely ashamed to be a part of this community. And look, I know we've come a long way. There was a period of time when anyone who wasn't heterosexual was scrutinized or in severe cases even killed. And
I used to be what some would say, I used to be what some would call an ally, until some of the things that she gets to in this video started happening. And among other things, I'll get to that.
As I am that I can walk down the street holding a girl's hand and not face the scrutiny, I also feel like we've passed the point of acceptance and are now at the point of blatant indoctrination. Someone has to say it. These pride parades have gotten disgusting. It's not even about acceptance anymore. It's a provocative and aggressive public display of hypersexuality and fetish. What was supposed to be an accepting and innocent space has turned into a hostile freak show. I didn't go to Pride,
and that's
never
it,
will unless
right
it's
there.
documented.
The sexual deviancy in the promoting to children, which I see people denying all the time is happening, but yeah, and maybe not on a massive scale, but it's definitely happening, and it's definitely happening in schools. Not as much anymore, I don't think. I think people caught on and it put a stop to it pretty quick, but it's still happening. The indoctrination is still going on. It's like the government owns all the schools, and you're putting all your kids there, and so the government now owns your kids. Who knew? Who knew this was gonna happen? I'm an anarchist, by the way.
The absurdity of it, but this is what LGBT is associated with now. It's no longer associated with peace, love, unity, and tolerance. Instead, it's associated with hypersexualization, provocation, fetish, and bigotry.
I would argue that it was never about peace, love, and all of that. That's what it was to regular people, but the people who started it and the people who sell it in their stores, who sell the merch, they're all about money. It's not even about the bigotry. That's what it turned into with a lot of the people who got offensive at first when people were pushing back against it, and they're like, oh, you're just a bunch of haters, you hate gay people. I don't. I hate groups. I hate corporations, government. When people get into groups, it's not good. Individual people, cool with me. Especially groups when everybody's got the same thing in mind. Then you get people that know that they have the same thing in mind, and they're like, I can manipulate all these people and make money.
I don't know what happened to the days when we would encourage people to accept themselves and make peace with those who disagree with us. Because now
she's
we
got
just
Monopoly Man back there too.
Anyone even whispering a subtle argument. This community has managed to weaponize its own labels and use them unfairly, not hesitating to label any opposition as transphobic or homophobic. It's funny because we used to be the ones complaining about intolerance. Two girls holding hands in public were at risk of being fucking shot. They couldn't adopt kids, get married, start a family. So
True.
I completely understand why we spent so many years fighting for tolerance. But
and people who are doing those things, those kinds of crimes to gay people, should themselves be. But sexual depravity in public, like BDSM and all of that, not allowed, man. That should not be allowed. Wear normal clothes. Just be normal. You can be gay. You can even show that you're gay. Gay people don't have to be in thongs because they aren't. They're not walking around with up the butt nut huts.
Have it now. And ever since we've been shown tolerance, we're now the ones refusing to reciprocate it. We've now become the side that is intolerant to opposing beliefs. The script has flipped completely, and it's not for the better. See, back in the day when I was a little G rolling up on my Heelys trying to finesse the hoes, I didn't even know what gay was, much less what trans was. I grew up in the South, the deep South, like frog eating, gator hunting, Confederate flag South. I thought LGBT stood for let's go beer tasting. I didn't know a single gay person in my life, and I didn't have a phone or any type of social media to be exposed to it either. And yet somehow I looked like this.
I think I'm a little bit older though. Probably, I'd say 10 years. I'd say I'm 10 years older than her.
Yeah, that 7 or 8 year old me, dope slinging and pimping since
I also looked like that 7 or 8 years old.
Can't tell was Rob Deerdeck, and let me tell you, I got made fun of.
My idol was also Rob Deerdeck. That's really funny, but my Rob Deerdeck was Robin Big, not the Fantasy Factory. I fucking love Robin Big. Viva La Bam, all those kinds of shows in that era. That was mine. That was my show. That was my era.
All the time. If only I had $1 for every time someone asked me, "Are you a boy or a girl? Why do you dress like a boy?" And I would always get so pissed off.
Bro, that would happen to me all the time because long hair, get confused being a girl all the time. But I didn't turn out to be gay though.
People would call me gay, faggot, dyke, because at the time, I didn't know that I was gay. So I would just be standing there like, what the fuck are you even talking about? I'm none of these things that you're calling me. It wasn't until I was going into high school that I realized, oh shit, I like tits. Everyone around me knew before I knew. The reason I'm telling you this story is so that you're aware that I wasn't acting or pretending or trying to fit a label or any.
See, I could have been friends with her in high school, I think.
Of that bullshit. I never dressed like a boy out of opposition for tradition. I never did it in pursuit of being unique. As cringy as it sounds, I was genuinely just being myself. My interests were never in Barbies or playing house. I wanted to play basketball and build Lego City. I was never constantly in my head thinking, oh, if I do this masculine thing, then this feminine. No. What 8-year-old kid thinks about that? For an 8-year-old kid to be thinking like that, they would either have to be medically neurotic or extremely brainwashed by social media.
I think I might have to start doing subtitles because I keep reading these subtitles.
I didn't have TikTok or Instagram as an 8-year-old kid, thank God. And I feel genuinely sorry for kids growing up on these platforms being exposed to all of these attention-whoring and degenerate ways of life. They don't get to see that all the real trans people are discreet. You don't know that they're trans because they don't want you to know. They want to blend in as a normal person and live a normal life as they change gender. They don't want anyone asking their pronouns. They want it to be so obvious that you just assume their gender. That's why they spent thousands of dollars on corrective surgeries, so that you could look at them and not ask what they are.
Yeah, I grew up with some people that were gay, and one of them ended up being trans, but they were really provocative. They got a kick out of walking down the hallways yelling, "I'm gay," and all the redneck kids getting mad. Like it's funny getting a rise out of people, I guess. I like to do the same thing. Not about the whole gay stuff, but with other situations.
The whole point of a transition. All of these people you see on social media posting about their transgenderism are the ones transitioning out of a feeling of emptiness and need for validation.
True.
They're not doing it out of a genuine sense of dysphoria and discontentment with their body. These days, the members of the LGBT community are all demanding that people acknowledge and accept their often obscure identity.
I watched this on my phone earlier, so I couldn't really get a close up of these people's faces, and they look like insane people. They look like the villains.
It feels like everyone's desperately grasping at these labels, all in a fight to be unique and interesting. But since when did we become so desperate for approval and validation? These people look attention-hungry and childish. It's like they're desperate for the whole world to accept and integrate their worldview. But
they look like the bad guys in like Borderlands or in Batman, like the people who are destroying stuff in the streets.
That expectation is frankly unrealistic and juvenile. My sexuality is not a core part of my identity. I don't purposely flaunt it, I don't expect anyone to respect it, and I sure as hell don't need a stranger's validation for why it's okay. I am the way that I am. Whether you like that or not is absolutely irrelevant to me. I'm not proud of being gay. I think that shit's mad dumb. Because when you think of the word pride, you think of some type of achievement, some accomplishment, something you worked for. My attraction to women is not something that I chose. I didn't work for it. It's just how I am. Straight people don't flaunt the fact that they're straight. That's just how they are. Do you really think that anyone gives a shit about what genitalia you're attracted to? I genuinely can't think of a more irrelevant detail about your character. I don't give a fuck who you hump, as long as it's not my chick.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
That's good. This is a good video, really good video from like a year ago. Finding Sky, definitely gonna give a subscribe and oh, I already gave it a like when I opened the video. Yeah, man, I agree with her. I think she needed to go a little bit harder in on the corporations that are pandering to people who are easily tricked into buying all of this garbage and buying into it on social media, which, by the way, these people make money on the clicks. It's not free. They're making money on it, and they're getting your votes when they talk about it because they know that that they're not you, that they are easily tricked. Government knows that people who buy pride stuff at Target are gonna vote for them whenever they talk about the pride stuff at Target. You don't think that the people who are after the most powerful positions in the world are up to date on marketing and how to manipulate people with shiny objects and colors? You think commercials are egregious?